Hello everyone. One of the consistent questions that I have been getting from lot of you is what to check before purchasing a niche site. So in this video I want to cover all the points that I normally verify. If you remember, I purchased two sites so far. One is site number 7 which is now doing good per month, and on average it is making about $400 to $500. And the second website is the public case study website that I purchased just a couple of months back, and I have been recording the videos of every activity I have been performing on that video and showcasing to all of you. While discussing about the purchasing process of both those sites, I did touch base about the high level, what are all the things that I normally verify before buying a website. However, still I keep getting the similar questions, so I thought I will make a dedicated video covering all the aspects, more like a checklist for buying a niche website. So let me get started. There are about 11 points altogether that I verify. Out of this 11 points, there are two portions are there. One is to make a decision whether to buy or not. Second portion is to decide if I can actually pay more for that particular site. So let's get started. Once we go through the details, we will get to know more. So first one is, the very first point is the domain name. Domain name is something that I check for, and so let me actually write here domain name. So I normally look for a broader domain name. Sometimes I see a lot of websites like air fryer, bestairfryer.com, or leathershoechecklist.com, these kind of things. Those are very narrowed. Though they are performing reasonably well, I always want to keep the options open to expand to other segments, other products, or the other segments in that particular niche. That's because of that reason I also always look for the domain with the broader name. And this is one more reason for paying more attention towards this point is, if you remember my site number 7 that I purchased last year around March, April, that is very ultra micro niche site as well as the domain name. And I also told you that I'm now, I think, almost held up with that particular ultra micro niche, not able to expand it further because that talks about only one specific type of material used in the beddings. So because of that reason, I normally go for a broader domain. And also the TLD, I normally look for .com domains. Don't really go for any other extension, but that's Google says that doesn't really matter, so it's up to you. That's about the domain name. Then second one is a niche. So there are two aspects in the niche. As I always I have been telling to all of you that niche is always a personal decision. So that means you need to pick a niche that is comfortable to you and that can keep you interested for at least couple of years. And most importantly, the niche that is in which you are confident of actually publishing probably content, maybe 100 to 200 articles minimum. That means you should have enough of resources or accessibility to the resources to publish the content. So I normally stay away from some of the niches like datings, adults, or travel, and also the latest news sites or celebrities, trending text. I am not very comfortable. I normally look for the evergreen niches and also this niche that's something can sustain for longer period of time. But this is very personal decision. That is part one of the niche. So basically you look for interest, your confidence and resource. These are the one thing, resources. You'll check for these things. But apart from this, I also 100% stay away from the niches like finance and health. After, the few years back there was algorithm rollout like YMYL, your money, your life. Since then, any sites that publish the content on related to health and finance gets more scrutinized, and you need to have enough authority and expertise to really rank well on those sites in those niches. Because of that reason, I stay away, and also I don't build the backlinks, and so because of that reason, it is not going to be very easy for me to build that authority and expertise. Because of that reason, I stay away from those niches as well. Finance and health, big no, and among the remaining niches also, I pick the only niches that are comfortable to me. Typically I look for maybe outdoor, home kitchen, home improvement. In tech also, some text that is that stays for longer period of time, and outdoor living. So these are some of the niches that I normally keeps me interested in. So that's about the niche. Second point related to the while selecting the niche website. Now third point, this is the most important point. This is a traffic trend, or I also call it as a keyword trend. So let me show you what it is. Now there are multiple ways to check this. I normally use Ahrefs. So this is the Ahrefs. This is the site I recently purchased. This is a public case study that if you have been watching, I have been creating videos covering shooting all the activities that I have been performing, and uploaded the playlist. Please go and check it out if you have not yet watched it. So this is the site. So I look for this particular tab, organic search. Now you see here. So let me pick up only for last 1 year. And if I see trend for last 1 year, this will give me an indication how the growth of the keywords ranking has been. Now if you see here, this has been consistently growing on the upward only. For some of the sites you will see this particular the trend up and down or going down. You can find the very different trends there. I look for this kind of a trend. So if you see the all time also, it gradually increasing. So the more and more keywords are getting ranked. So last 1 month there is a spike because we are doing some, I think all the cleanup and all those things. But even if you exclude that part, if you see, let's see probably up to December. I purchased the site in the month of December. If you see up to December also, still if you consider from here to here, still it is going slightly up only. So I don't really look for exciting accelerated kind of a curve. Not necessarily, that is not my requirement, but I want to always see some kind of a positive trend only. Though the growth is in incremental, that is perfectly fine. But if it is only moving towards a positive direction, I pick that particular website. Now you may ask, you don't have Ahrefs access. No problem. There are other ways also ways to check this. You can simply go ask for the analytics, Google Analytics data or Google Search Console data. Both will also give you an indication. For example, if you go here, you go to your audience report, pick up your total analytics audience report and check for probably last 1 year or 2 years, whatever time it is. Likewise, you can also check in last 16 months. If you pick here in the search console, you can very well see the trend here. So exclude the last 3 months. There has been a sudden spike because of whatever changes we are making. Hopefully, I believe that because of the changes we are making. But even if you exclude those last 3 months, still I think trend had been slowly moving towards upwards only. So that's a positive indication for me to purchase that particular site. So you can see here, if you go to, let's say, pick up from maybe December 1st 2020, apply this, and you'll be able to see the trend from Google Analytics. Also pick up monthly. You can see here slightly it is only going up. There is no huge ups and downs. So this is another indication for me to positive indication for me to purchase any of the niche sites. That's the point number 3. That is basically tells the traffic trend or basically the keyword trend. The fourth one is the content quality. This is very tricky. This is extremely difficult. I really find it very difficult to do 100% verification of the content quality, but we have to do this. So normally you randomly pick 3 or 4 posts, 3 or 4 blogs, and then read through that focused reading. You will be able to get a sense of how the language is and how the English, whether they use DS English or some local English, and is there any fluffy content is there. This kind of thing. For plagiarism check, probably you may pick 1 or 2 blogs and then use some of the tools like Siteliner, or there are few tools are there, but no tool is perfect. I am not very confident about most of those tools, but still you can do a quick check. If it shows really bad report, then you may actually skip it. But this is a important factor, but not very easy to 100% verify. You will have to spend your effort. You need to use your knowledge. If you are not very good in validating these things, probably you ask any of your fellow blogger, or maybe you ask one of the content writer or somebody in the Facebook groups or in your community who has decent English, and then maybe you pay them some money and ask them to get it validated, or somebody in your friend circle or relatives, if somebody has reasonable English skill, then you can actually give this website and ask them to read through a couple of blogs and tell you how good it is. It is a readability and these kind of aspects. This is a subjective, but this is an important factor. That's number 4. And 5 is, I also look for info versus commercial. My guideline is, if there is more than 50% of commercial content, then I normally stay away from that site. But however, I'm not very if it's something is 51-49, these kind of things are okay, and it's not like a pass fail kind of thing. Little bit here and there is okay, but if it is something like, if commercial content is 60%, 70%, most likely I will not go for it. I prefer the sites with more informational content, but 50-50 is also okay for me. That's another thing that I normally verify. And 7th one is how much traffic the top pages are getting. Top pages traffic. So let me show you the case study, public case study website. You will understand what it means. Now if you see here, there is a, I think there is a way to check this. There is something called top pages. You can also verify in the analytics. If you go to analytics, go home, and then there are all basically the traffic of various pages are listed, are reported in the Google Analytics. Now if you come over here, top page is getting 25%. You can see here traffic percentage. Next page is 22%. Next is 18%, 7%. I normally, so if it is anything about less than 15%, if top pages are getting less than 15%, that is ideal. Anything less than that is perfect, great. But more than 15% is slightly risky. However, 25% up to 25-30% is also okay, because site is new and only the very few pages are actually getting ranked. Whereas if some of the websites I observed, lot of websites I observed, top 1 or 2 pages actually get about nearly 70%, 80% of traffic, even 60%, 50%. What happens is, if by any chance, if rankings go down for the top 1 or 2 pages, then entire website is gone. For example here, even if the first page goes down, if rankings go down for first page, still the site can have about 75% of the existing traffic. But let's assume if the top page is getting, let's say, about 75% to 80% of traffic, then if that particular ranking goes down, because of various reasons, there are so many external factors involved in the search rankings, right? So Google may actually change some little bit in the algorithms and all that. Then your 75% of your traffic is gone. Then it is going to be extremely difficult to recover that. So this has to be, the distribution has to be across all the pages. So top pages should have as not very high traffic share. That's what I mean to say. If you see here in this report, you can also get to know the top page is 24%, next page is 20%. This is a distribution. You can ask for the Google Analytics report or Access. You can actually verify this. This is another way. This is the third parameter I normally look for. Top pages traffic, it shouldn't be very high, so that actually increases the risk. The next one is, this is very important for me, but this is actually in exactly opposite way how most of the people validate this. So let me explain what it is. Normally people say, if the site has a higher DR, higher DA, domain rating or domain authority, they love to buy the site, and most of the people would love to buy the site and they spend more money. For me, I will be very, very cautious if the DA is high. I normally verify domain rating, domain authority versus the traffic that particular site is getting. That is very, very important for me. If domain rating is let's say 30 or 20, and if your traffic is only, let's say, maybe 1000 or 2000 or 3000, that's still okay. But if domain rating is, let's say, 50 or 60, and if our traffic is only about, let's say, 1000 or so, then there is something not correct with that particular parameter. That's what it means. For example, this particular site, if you see, domain rating is 7, and traffic, we already know that in monthly reports, monthly income reports, I showed you the traffic. I think the site is getting about 1500 page views per month, 1500 page views per month. So for this particular domain rating, this shows about 1000 here. Organic traffic 1000 you can see here, but actually it is about 1500. So that variation will be there between the when you compare with the tools. For domain rating 7000, 1500, 1600, 2000 traffic is okay. Up to even I think 5000, 10,000 is also okay. For example, for my premium primary site, domain rating is about 15 now, and site gets about a 60k, 70k page views. But people actually use a lot of backlink techniques to increase this DR. So DR and DI are purely calculated purely based on the backlinks. Now what happens is you can actually increase the DR and DA by, there are various techniques are there, by getting the backlink from various sources, and DR we may go to 40, 50 also. However, if Google doesn't find the backlinks are relevant to that particular site, if it doesn't find all those backlinks relevant to the niche or site or content on that site, DRDA will go up, but traffic will not increase. So that means it is in the gray area. I sense any point of time Google, the algorithm may actually go hard at this kind of site. There is a risk element. I don't say 100% it will get penalized, but there is a high chance. So there is a high DRDA, that means there are heavy backlink building is done for that particular site, but traffic has not increased. That means rankings did not go up. That means Google did not appreciate or value the links that you build. So any point of time there is a high possibility of actually getting receiving a negative impact. Not 100%, but there is a risk. So I stay away from that. This is one parameter. Lot of people actually think other way. If it is a DR, high DR, they normally go and grab the site. I am very, very cautious about that particular parameter. I always verify DR, DA against traffic. If it is balancing out, then I'm okay. For starter sites, DR anything above 30, I normally stay away. If it is less than 30, I think I would consider for the starter kind of niche sites. That's about another validation that I normally do while purchasing the site. So one more, the 8th one is search volume of the top keywords. So this one is this is basically the last one is the traffic source, the geo factor. So if you look at here itself, if you go to this organic search, you will be able to see United States is getting about there is 82% of traffic coming from US, and then followed by UK about 7%. That means nearly 90% coming from US, UK, Canada. Perfect. But if some of the sites are getting traffic like probably India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, or Philippines, from some of these countries, I stay away, because the ad revenues are extremely low when the traffic, you get the traffic from these countries compared to if you get the traffic from US, UK, Canada. Almost I observed that nearly 10 times difference is there. Because of that, I look for the top traffic sources, and you can also verify this. If you go here, there is a way to verify that. I think there is a geo element is there in the analytics also. You really don't need in Ahrefs. You can ask for the Google Analytics access, and you can verify that one also. But this is another parameter I look for. This is from Ahrefs, it's easy. So where is the report? So once report comes, let's see that. In Google Analytics, there is a geo. So that will show you. So you can see here. This is for last 7 days, still loading. And Canada is there in the 5th place for this particular site. Normally I prefer these 3 countries, US, UK, Canada, followed by maybe Australia or any of the European countries. This is the ideal situation to purchase any of the site. So let it come up. I think it's taking some time. So those are the 8 main points that I verify before purchasing a site. This is the part 1. That means if the site fails in meeting any of these validations, then I actually don't purchase the site. That means this is the part 1. This is the checklist to decide whether to purchase or not. Okay, so either to purchase or not. Now the part 2, there are few more are there. These are basically to decide if I can spend little more money. Typically, you know, the niche sites get sold for about anywhere from 25 to 45x. That's the range going on for now. So there are 3 other points that I verify. If that is good, then I may actually go for multiples of 40, 35, 40 also. But if they don't meet, then I actually stay at about 25, 30x. So that's basically so let me say, you can see his geo. This is the analytics report. United States, huge, then followed by UK, and then some traffic is coming from India and Australia. You can see United States, as per analytics, it is about 65%, and UK about 7%. So Canada about 4%, Australia about 5%. So altogether, if you combine these 4 countries, you have nearly 80% of traffic. Perfect, right? This is what I mean to say when I mentioned traffic source. Now the 3 more points that will that I normally verify to make a decision about how much I can give for pay for this site. First one is search volume of top keywords. So let's go to the Ahrefs and the same website that we have been verifying. There is something called organic keywords. Let's look that particular data. This particular data will give you all the keywords that have been ranking well, at least the keywords that are currently ranking, and there is something called volume here. You see here. Now these are all basically the top ranking position in top 10 most likely, not necessarily in the top 1, in top 10 positions. Now if I see most of these keywords having the high volumes in hundreds, thousands, that means that an indication that as the rankings go up, the traffic will significantly go up. Then I will actually, I'm okay to spend more money for this kind of site. So instead of just limiting myself to 25x, 30x, I may actually go for 35x and 40x also, because there is a I think a high search volume waiting. For example, if you see this particular keyword has 3200, but for most of starter sites it will be in double digits, like you see here 20, 20, 60, 60, 70. This is how it will be. But I have seen few sites where almost top 50 keywords are having, most of them having the search volume of above 1000. For those kind of sites, I am more than happy to spend more multiples. This is okay. This is average situation. This is neither bad nor good, because this is some of the keywords are having in hundreds, some of the keywords are having in tens, and lot of starter sites will have only the in double digits, maybe 50, 60, anywhere from maybe a 0 to 200. For those sites I limit up to 30x multiples, but if the search volumes are more, then I actually go for higher multiples. That's basically the one of the another parameter to decide how much I can pay for this particular site. The next one is the product cost. So product cost. Why product cost? Because if the product cost is high, your affiliate commission will be high, obviously, right? So for example, if you take the products like bikes or automobiles, or probably water heaters and these kind of things, and if you take these kind of products, the product cost will be about anywhere $100, $200. Then even if you consider 3%, 4% commission, you will be able to earn about $10 per sale, anywhere from $5 to $10. But whereas if you consider, for example, let's say beauty, so most of the beauty related products will be about $20, $30. So you will earn about 50 cents. So that's another parameter. If I see that particular site is ranking for the products, content related to the products that are having very high value or cost, then I'm okay to spend more multiples for that particular site. That's another parameter. Another one more factor I look for, and the last one is this is basically to see related to your monetization. If how is the current site is monetized? Is it monetized only for display ads? Is it monetized only for Amazon? Then there is a possibility to open up other monetization methods also. For example, I have seen some of the starter sites use only Google ads in spite of having a traffic of about a 5,000 or so. So immediate opportunities, once if you can go apply for EZOIC, then your earnings may actually become double or triple. And if the site is actually using only Amazon ads, then you can actually put the display ads. So I see these kind of things. If there is an opportunity to open up one more type of a monetization method, typically either upgrading from Google ads to EZOIC or adding display ads if it is not already used, then I am okay to spend little more money to purchase that particular site. These are the 3 points that I validate to decide how much I can spend for that particular site, and the top 8 points are the points that I normally verify to decide if I want to purchase that particular site or not. So this is the 11-point checklist I normally follow for buying a niche, any of the niche website. And if you still have any questions, please do ask in the comment section. Thanks. Bye.